Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Lake Elsinore Special. And this episode is called Moshino Madness. Now let me tell you what's going on. There's a lot of foolery that's going on right now. Word just broke out from Vlad TV that an employee is suing the Moshino company. The reason why is because she revealed lots of information about what these employees are supposed to do when an African American enters their store. There's a name called Serena's, and she was instructed to yell out Serena's if an African American walked in a Moshino store who appeared to look like they couldn't afford to purchase any items in that store. Shamo Latade, who is of Haitian descent, worked at the Moshino store, and she was the one who revealed this information to us. She's actually in action with a lawsuit right now, which is currently going on. Now, this has been going on for a long time. I mean, we have people like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, all these type of high-end fashion goods that's being sold that African Americans, black people all over the world likes to purchase. Now, I'm gonna give my take on this. My take is to stop supporting these clothing companies in these high-end fashion industries that don't respect you, don't like you, and don't respect the hard-earned money that you spend at these stores. For instance, about 4 years ago, I was in a certain store and I was getting targeted the whole time. And I knew I was getting targeted because I was African American. Even though I was stupid enough to make that purchase, I highly regretted it. And from that day on, I vowed to never wear these high-end fashion clothing companies again. African Americans need to realize we have our own style list of people that basically sells clothes that's for us, by us, for instance. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like African Americans don't support these clothing companies just because we have a crab in a bucket mentality, if you understand what I'm saying. Crab in a bucket mentality basically means we're gonna bring each other down. There's clothing companies that we should support, like Brand Nubian's clothing companies. Lord Jamar, legendary hip hop artist, he has his own clothing company with Brand Nubian, sells it online. We have a lot of hip hop artists that does their own clothing companies, such as Troy Ave with the BSB Records, which he's in control of. He owns that. That's black owned also. We have other clothing companies such as Carl Kanai, which, wait, let me show you. This is what I'm wearing right now, currently, as I'm speaking to you. We have Carl Kanai, which is a legendary clothing company from the 90s. He's did work with legendary artists such as, he's did work with the legendary hip-hop history mogul, Puff Daddy. He's done work with the Notorious B.I.G. and the rappers that carry on. Carl Kanai is still around till this day, making money and doing what he needs to do. His clothing is still available to sell and to buy. So my advice to you is maybe us as African Americans, we should start supporting our own clothing companies that is black owned and that's made for black people to wear. Carl Kanai makes excellent clothes. Fubu still makes excellent clothes. And there's been a trend that a lot of us hip-hoppers and a lot of hip-hop artists like to wear, you know, legendary punk rock artist shirts such as like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, and all that. But we have hip-hop artists that's legendary, like for instance, A Tribe Called Quest. They make t-shirts. Why don't we start supporting our own? You get what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not biased towards rock music. I love rock music. As a matter of fact, my favorite rock band of all time is Rage Against the Machine. I own a few Rage Against the Machine t-shirts. So my advice to you guys, we need to stop putting money in people's pockets that don't respect us. These guys don't respect us. I know, unlike myself, there's been a lot of you that's been targeted. And there's been a lot of you that's been followed around stores unwantedly. There's been a lot of you that felt that. So why keep putting money in these people's pockets? They don't respect us. They don't like us. They don't like us for what we do, how we act, or anything. And truth be told, if it wasn't for African Americans, I don't think their clothes would be as popular anyways. If it wasn't for the rappers promoting it in every song they do and wearing their clothes in every video that they do, I don't think they would be as popular. Because there's been a conspiracy in the trend that I've noticed growing up all my life, is that when rappers start promoting these clothes and doing it, all of a sudden everybody wants to wear it. Like Supreme, rappers started wearing that clothes and doing their thing with it. Now everybody wants to wear it. Supreme, which I'm a big fan of, is a skateboarding company. So, you know, we need to start supporting ourselves. We need to start supporting each other. I know I'm gonna be a vigilant type of style reporting this type of video, but it's something that's been on my brain and a lot of other things. So I think I'm just gonna start giving my takes and addressing my opinions. You get what I'm saying? Instead of addressing my opinion on a Facebook status, I'll just do a video, because this is straight foolery and we need to stop making fools out of ourselves. I remember back in the 90s, Tommy Hilfiger, because I'm old enough to remember the 90s. And I remember Tommy Hilfiger was a massive popular industry within the hip hop community. Everybody was wearing it. Aaliyah was wearing it. Wu-Tang was wearing it. It was very popular within the African community. And the owner of Tommy Hilfiger came out and said, I don't want black people wearing my clothes. Tommy Hilfiger fell off. So we need to realize the power that we have in our dollar. We need to realize that, because it's not about race. It's not about black people. It's not about white people. It's not about Hispanics. It's not about Asians. It's about that green dollar. That's the only color that matters on this earth. And if you don't respect yourself, no one will ever respect you. And that's real. So tune in again for another edition of the Lake Elsinore Special. We got some other things coming on. We got some other things going down. There's been a lot of things going down with R. Kelly and all that, which truthfully I don't really care about, but I will address my opinion and my take on that. So we will talk a little bit about R. Kelly, and then we got another surprise coming soon. We got future interviews coming. So don't forget to purchase Trey Fitz clothing line at outfitsclothing.com. Make sure you go cop some shirts and stay tuned. Peace.